Hey guys, Lonely Fanboy 4 here, and the cartoon that I'm going to be reviewing is a Jimmy Neutron episode called Best in Show. So here we go. There was a dog competition that Jimmy automatically won. However, Cindy says that Garland doesn't qualify as a real dog, so Cindy managed to win, which leaves Garland completely depressed. But Jimmy is just trying to be a respectful person with the correction that he made to tell him that it wasn't a big deal, but Sheen and Carl completely told him that it really was a big deal. Due to him losing to the contest, Garland left a note for Jimmy that he could be better off finding a real dog, as Garland completely ran away. So for the majority of the episode, Garland meets some strangers and dogs, and unfortunately he can't fit in like his best friends. Until he was about to get recycled, Cindy and her puppy are about to get run over by a car. But then when Jimmy finally found Garland, he wants him to do his rescue mode by rescuing Cindy and her dog. And while this is happening, Cindy lost the trophy, which means that it's probably destroyed. And the episode ends with Garland winning the Trophy of Honor due to his heroic efforts of saving Cindy Vortex. And that's how the episode ends. Now you're probably wondering why I decided to review this episode, because it's just basically a 44-minute, it's basically an 11-minute episode. Well, the thing is, this is one of the final episodes of Jimmy Neutron, and this is the third season of an episode. To be quite honest, it's probably really important because this is the only episode that Garland actually had focus. Yes, this is the first time that Garland had focus before the show got cancelled. And in my opinion, it really works for the episode's benefit. Unlike in other dog episodes, well, the human is really disappointed or either sad that the dog wasn't able to win or do anything right. This episode involves Garland, which is a robotic dog, and robot dogs don't qualify as pets. Well, to be honest, I really found that argument completely false, but I can understand why Garland didn't able to win the trophy back at the game. Because the reason why Jimmy made a dog is because I think he wants to have someone be occupied by one of his creations. That's why he probably made Garland in the first place. And not only that, well, it kind of works from beginning to end with Garland's perspective. Even though that Jimmy didn't give him the emotions of facial expressions or anything, but you can still see how the pain and disappointment that Garland is going through, considering the fact that he couldn't be able to become a dog because he's a robot, which is very an interesting idea considering that it's probably unreal to see an episode involving a robotic dog in a situation like this. So much that he wants to fit in, but at the same time he can't because he's completely different than everyone else. And when he was about to get arrested, well, apparently the police officers in this show are just trying to be more goofy, but at the same time, the company who made Jimmy Neutron always makes it really sometimes goofy. And I should probably get the biggest problem of this episode. And that's Sheen. In case if you don't know, by this time, Sheen is starting to become more annoying and he tries way too hard to be hilarious. Now, in seasons 1 and 2, at least he had some good comedic timing, but it just really doesn't look, considering the fact that Garland is completely lost, and this is a very serious situation for Jimmy. And this isn't as bad as his performance in Planet Sheen, but at the same time, it's still unwatchable here. Besides, it's just really hard to take him seriously of him trying to be funny very hard. I mean, I can understand that the writers are just trying their hardest to make him funny, but to be honest, at this point, Sheen has probably lost all the comedy by the end of Season 3. There were some moments that he was funny in Season 3, but this episode is just, oh my god. I think you can understand, even though I haven't watched Planet Sheen, but after watching this, I don't even want to. This just goes to show. And anyway, as for this, for the show being canceled, the reason why the show was canceled was because the movie Ample, it wasn't a big success and it didn't revive the company. So the 4th season of Jimmy Neutron was canceled. Now, I was disappointed that this show didn't get a 4th season, but at the same time, I really don't blame them. I mean, this is the same people who gave us the Jimmy Neutron movie back in 2001. So they probably wanted to do it again, however, it didn't work out completely. I don't know if it's the movies that was released during the time of 2006 or the fact that they didn't try the hardest to make it more serious, and the goofiness probably ruined the originality of Bully. I think that's probably the biggest problem with Bully. But at the same time, it's still a unique, it's still trying to be creative and being its own thing. Now, the 4th season of Jimmy Neutron will have no more 11-minute episodes and more focusing on 22-minute episodes. And there were episodes that were planned, like another Evil Jimmy episode, which could possibly be the final episode of the Evil Jimmy trilogy, I think, but oh my god, I just never going to see the reactions of everyone else after the episode sending the clones. I'm sorry, I just can't get over that reaction. But I think that season 4 could have been a way to end this show, because to be honest, the show is starting to become more budgetly since the animation is getting more detailed and stuff. I don't know if that's probably the biggest reason, but Jimmy Neutron's CGI is probably the best CGI I've ever seen in the kids show. You can say all you want, but considering the fact that this show never got a 4th season, I think it really shows. While most of the CGI shows that I saw, well, I have nothing against with TV CGI, but at the same time, it's just hard to watch for me. But I really think that this show having a 4th season would have worked, but due to production problems, it's really disappointing that it never happened, even after 12 long years. Anyway, sorry for being off topic. This episode is probably one of the best episodes, and if season 4 actually exists, then Godot might have an episode of its own like this episode did. But then again, I guess that the company who made the show probably didn't have a lot of money and probably didn't put a lot of focus on the ideas that they had. Again, the Ant Bully isn't a terrible movie, but at the same time, it was the reason why Jimmy Neutron didn't get a 4th season. But the best in show episode is probably a very interesting episode, and you should watch this episode even if you're not a fan of Jimmy Neutron. I give this episode an 8 out of 10. It could have been much more higher if Sheen isn't over the top hilarious, and my god, his flanderization gets worse than Planet Sheen. Anyway, the next time I come back, I'm going to make my top 5 things I want to see for My Little Pony Season 9.